Hi, how's it going? Living in Boulder vlog. Turn my comments back on YouTube vlog for kids. January 25th, 2020 at 9:16 a.m. Saturday weekend. So I just got up. Just laying in bed. I was kind of wasted. I rode 50 miles yesterday, which was a lot of exercise for me. So what happened was I got sleep, and day before yesterday, kind of like a reasonable time, 8 or 9, and then after riding, I think 50 miles day before yesterday. And then I told my mom to call me because I was going to maybe go to her old lady workout class just once to see what it's all about. Plus, even though it's old people working out, it's exercise for me. Anything's exercise for me. I should go to the gym right now, actually, just to fuck around. And yeah, so went in there and did the exercise class and the old people stuff. But gave me my exercise. Then after that, oh yeah, it was my mom's idea. We went over to Dod's Diner for breakfast. I think she even paid, and then she was in a good mood, and she was like, "Hey, I want to buy you shoes." Because she's happy about me stopping the reefer and stuff, getting in shape. So she went down and I got 2 pairs of shoes. I got some running like trail shoes with these big ass treads that were only like $26. And these other really nice like slipper looking shoes, the new technology. She wants me to throw away my old shoes, but I've had them for a couple years, so there's nothing wrong with them. Like there's no, like not even a little bit of the tread has peeled off. I mean, the only difference is the tread's kind of gone on the bottom, but none of the stitches have peeled away. So I just feel bad about getting rid of shoes that are played out that have never failed at all. I don't think I've ever had a pair of shoes that have never failed before. New Balance, dude. New Balance shoes are built with quality, built to last. So yeah, and a couple weeks ago, she got me some actual legit running shoes. So, because she wanted to get me normal shoes, I just wanted to run with. Anyway, and then I came back here. She dropped me off, and I was just, oh yeah, that's when I started riding. So I rode for 50 miles, and when I kind of started to feel a little bit icky, or I just started wondering, yeah, a little bit like more tired and wondering how many miles I've been. I hit the screen on my computer, and it said 48.8 miles. So that's pretty trippy. So I only had to ride like one more mile, and then I called it a day for that. I was thinking about coming back later, but at that point, I wanted to put together my swim erg. I bought a swim erg, and it'd be sitting around in my living room for a couple days. So if I put that together, oh, and I had to clean up my room, my house too, and I didn't even finish like cleaning and redoing the water in my fish tank and stuff. And I have to go and clean up my room today and vacuum. I don't think I've done that for months. So yeah, so today's going to be mainly just to clean up the house. Just in the morning, I'm going to clean up my house, vacuum, organize. When you're an athlete, it's totally different life than the life that I've been doing when you're just smoking reefer all the time and you only care about one thing, which is like whatever project on my website I'm working on. Just neglect everything else, like my house is just starts to turn into a pack rat's house and everything gets neglected. But if you're a pro athlete, everything that's complete opposite of that. Like you turn into the most anal person ever. I mean, everything needs to be perfectly organized and perfectly clean and in its place so that you can find all your stuff. And so that's kind of the transition that I want to make today. Clean up my room and get that going. So, and just take a inventory of everything in my room so I know where everything is. And I have my room set up so stuff is. I have like 2 shelves and stuff hanging all over the walls and stuff. So it's jam packed. So yeah, it's good to just remember where everything is every once in a while. So yeah, I finished up last night and it was like 12:30 or something, just watching these Vasa Eric videos and getting excited. It seems like that really will help. I've never been a swimmer. I've done swimming a little bit here and there. I actually did a triathlon in college. But I was depressed. I was like sick with depression. So, you can't expect somebody to be athletic if they're sick with depression. I hadn't been on like a single exercise for like months, and I showed up kind of on a whim at the bike race, but I got dropped on the first climb, and so I was gonna go home, but this other dude came up and made me kind of talked me into finishing the ride with him at my pace at like 15 miles an hour. So we got last, but that kind of motivated me to do the triathlon. But I wasn't really fit for that, so I was kind of not really in the mood. So I kind of didn't really want to swim, and I was kind of hanging out in the pool, like thinking about getting out. And the person who was counting my laps was in my class and was like, let me out of the pool, kick me out of the pool 2 laps early. But they didn't disqualify me, and I somehow ended up getting 11th out of 22 in the elite. So I don't know how the fuck that happened. People were really out of shape, dude, because there were like another 25 people in the novice. But yeah, I mean, it was. I remember the run, because I wasn't doing very fast on the bike. But I remember the last part of the run. I was really enjoying myself, so I want to get into that again. And so today I feel kind of wasted. Last night I felt wasted as I was sitting there. I was like, okay, maybe I should take a day off, because since I started exercising again, I don't even know how many days ago that was. It's been like a week or less than a week or something. I've been taking a single day off. So I remember back when I bike toured around Europe, I was in like the worst shape ever. When I started that out, nothing like how I am now. But yeah, I got it back into shape from pretty much nothing in Europe, and I remember I was totally wasted in the beginning, and I could only ride like 20 miles a day, but it didn't matter to me because I was a tourist, and it was fun to just go 20 miles down the road and just kind of, or go to. I remember I went to Cologne after I was riding for like 4 days, and I took a whole day off there, and I was totally wasted, but being totally wasted kind of fit in really well with the tourism, just walking around the cities and taking a day off at each city. And so I did not overtrain at all. It was like 7,800 miles of riding stretched out over 6 months. So, and I mean, I could have trained, I could have ridden a little more than that, but I'm not so sure how much more than that. So, yeah, overtraining is definitely something that, but I'm all feel. I'm 100% by feeling, even though I use technology, like I'm all about the technology. I don't let it interfere with my performance, or my mind. So at the end of the day, I'm a feelings person, for everything, and that's the best way to go, because that's what makes people stop, is when they perceive that they're tired, and maybe they're not. The body is more resilient than they know, but that's why I'm never going to have a coach, because coaches always seem to think that you're weaker than you actually are. Like worse at recovering than you actually are. But yeah, but last night I didn't know. Like, I felt really bad, because I now I can put a pinpoint. I'm trying to explain how it feels like to be super out of shape. Because when you're super, super out of shape, being alive and walking around in itself is painful. But I was trying to explain what kind of pain it is, and and so last night I was there, like, like when you bust your ass and you're feverish, you're totally feverish, and all your muscles are sore, and all you want to do is just lay there, and you're like, oh my god, I don't think I should exercise tomorrow. That's the feeling. It's the same exact feeling as that. So last night I'm laying in bed, and I felt like that, and then I could not, because they were the same exact feeling. I could not, for the life, like, I'm serious, I could not tell the difference between how much of that was from me just being out of shape, and how much of it was from me just being tired, because it's the same damn feeling. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and assume that it's 50-50, but probably tending mostly towards just being out of shape. It's just, so basically that means that don't think that you're overtraining. You're not overtraining. You're just sick from being out of shape. Because as soon as I start writing or doing something, I feel better, So anyways, almost talked for 10 minutes. Today I'm going to clean up my room, and then I'll do something. I mean, obviously I do exercise every day, but I think I'm just going to I have to figure out my Wahoo, hook up my Wahoo, and get signed up for Zwift and just all that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to do today. We're almost 10 minutes. My God, I babbled all day for so long. All right, talk to you tomorrow.